ゃ物足りない憧れだけじゃ埋めきれない僕は君を好きになった夕暮れの風の匂い僕は
Hello everybody, I'm cosplaying Takano from Sekai, ichi, hatsukoi. It's from a really oldest yaoi anime, kinda, in a way. It was like early to late 2000s or something like that, from what I recall. So we are looking at sekai, ichi, hatsukoi today, and I will be telling facts about sekai, ichi, hatsukoi in general. We might have a little discussion of the movie and the characters and stuff like that. And I've also got a special assistant with me this time, Busa-chan. If you look at the covers of sekai, ichi, hatsukoi, there's bunnies. So this is why he's important to the series as a whole. But they're like white bunnies with like little magical wands and stuff. So there's that. So this video will be like kind of like split into like two parts. I will be talking about the manga in the second part. So look forward to that. Sorry if we are back in the bedroom. Having a bit of weather difficulties outside with the shed and stuff. It's just too risky for me to go back in there, and I'm also breaking out really bad. So don't mind me just being out of cosplay, talking about this series as a whole, about sekai, ichi, hatsukoi. But I got a haul, and we are gonna look at some manga as well. So for this video, we're talking about this series. This series is really damn good. And I've also been recommended this one as well, because I really enjoyed Sekai a lot, and I've been recommended Junjo as well. So there's that. All the manga I got is all in Japanese, so I'll have to like figure out like translations and stuff like that. I'm a beginner level hiragana, so it will come to me eventually. But I've mainly watched this anime series as a whole. I'm guessing this one's the first sort of chapter. So you've got, obviously, Takano and Ritsu. Obviously, those two are the main characters. And it just talks about, like, their sort of life. Oh, wait, some Junjo Romantic mention. That's their, like, other series. And then that's some like author's notes, obviously, with that. And yeah, I think that's volume 1. As well as volume 1, there's also volumes 2s and 3s over here. And it just kind of like a bit of a deep dive into it. What is that series? I recognise it. It looks familiar. I don't know if it's like the same creator. But if anyone knows the series, let me know. But the one I'm familiar with is obviously Sekai and Junjo-ish. Why is Takano in a mood? Honestly, he's such a mood. And the next, what's it, the third one? I think the third one like covers like all the couples that happen in the series, kinda in a way. Apart from the movie, we'll get to the movie later. That was the little bunny. All that. So the introduction. Today we're looking at an old yaoi series from my past, talking about this law and like what it lived up to today's standards. FYI, I was young at the time when I first discovered it. I want to say I was at the age where I could like look for work at the time. So like I was in that sort of like age bracket, but young me learned about yaoi way too early. So my original yaoi / BL origins go way back to Hetalia and like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I'm not surprised. Both series aren't yaoi series, unfortunately, but there is some heavy elements of it. I mean, look at the Hetalia anime, for example, where Italy and Germany, what was it? I think they like kiss like once. That's it. Also, young me loved Shizuzo and Izaya. Gravitation? There's like a manga series called Gravitation. That's a BL series. Why was it in my library? Nobody knows, but Gravitation was a thing in my library. Also, a lot of shipping lore and like the lore behind like different characters and stuff, all that sort of stuff has changed over the years because like certain like there's like creators that like announce like let's say a character is like trans, for example, which honestly good on them. We'd like more trans representation in media, and I feel like a lot of trans related stuff in the media just kind of like gets thrown under the bus, and I'm happy for like the creators are like, oh yeah, this character is trans. What I'm talking about is Grell Sutcliffe. She's transgender female, and a lot of I want to say like back in the old days, like a lot was like misrepresented, if you get what I mean. Like a lot of her character was like misrepresented, but now if you like look back at like oldish Black Butler stuff, it was heavily implied that she was transgender female and not just your gay guy. But yeah, she was more transgender female, if you get what I mean. She struggled with like body dysmorphia and gender dysphoria, and I like having that sort of representation explained a bit more to like what it was back in the day. Now, before I get into talking about sekai ichi hatsukoi, or the world's first greatest love, there might be a bit of unsettling scenes, and some things might be a little bit outdated. I mean, it's from the 2000s. There are support websites out there if you're like feeling uncomfortable, or like if there's something up in your relationship. There's always like support guidelines and stuff like that. It's just, you can find it on a website, and they've got like numbers and stuff for like if you want to talk, and it's just there to if you just want to chat, to be honest. But the topics I'll be like talking about is like, there's a lot of stuff that isn't like consensual, and just stuff like that is just a little bit outdated, if you get what I mean. Also remind you that this is a BL series. This is a BL/yaoi series. If you're one of those people that are like, why isn't he a woman? Or did get off my page. Get off my page. Get off. It's just a strong get off, and I'll be like keep an eye on comments and just blocking the people that don't like this sort of media, if that makes sense. Now the manga itself, there's like a few chapters online that I think they're like resurfaced here and there, but some are a little bit on the graphics sort of side, so there's that to like keep in mind. I would probably for this one, I'd wait until you're like an older teen at least, or like reaching like 18, like sort of like leaving school sort of age, to understand like the concept of it, but you get what I mean. I do want to talk about Junjo Romantica and Sekai. They're obviously made by the same author, as you can see. The way you can tell the difference between Sekai and Junjo Romantica is through like the mascots and stuff. So they have a bunny mascot, whereas these guys, they're more, I think it's more teddy bears, if that makes sense. I'll likely cover Junjo Romantica in like a different sort of video whenever I feel like it, because I know for a fact I will be picking up Junjo Romantica and like starting it from the very beginning. I do have a Junjo Romantica DVD that I've found in CEX. Let me just show you. Look at this. So they put it down as 15, which is like fair enough. A little bit damaged, but it's alright. But I will be covering Junjo Romantica in a different video. I just wanted to show off a little bit of my Junjo collection, which I will cover eventually in a different video, if you get what I mean. So Junjo Romantica, Junjo? Did I just say Junjo Romantica Origin? This is going in bloopers. So, Sekai ichi hatsukoi Origins. So we'll talk about the origin of like how the story folds and what happens. So you've got the beginning is super sweet. Takano and Ritsu become like high school sweethearts. Ritsu confesses and falls in love with Takano really quick, and they end up dating. So it's like a little bit like a library sort of like scenario. And he notices his like Masamune's like name on it, on like, you know, like how you have like a library and they have like different names where you check out. They like go to each other's houses, and sometimes they obviously do deeds, and obviously they fall in love, and it's pretty bittersweet, and they both say I love you. Takano ends up rescuing like a stray like kitten, and he like ends up adopting the kitten. They both moved on really quickly from like their sort of like summer romance, and they moved like to different colleges and unis, if that makes sense. And I think that was basically it of their like sort of like romance in like the beginning of it. But let's move on and talk about the present day and what happens. So Onodera, also known as Ritsu, he is a editor for a shoujo manga company. Is that a Shoujo Sunday reference in there? Yes, it is! This is why I wanted to talk about sekai ichi hatsukoi for such a long time. Because they're all they all work for a shoujo manga company. I know it's a BL series, but they work for a shoujo company. Onodera introduces himself to like the crew. There's obviously like a few guys and like girls working there. There's obviously like more guys working there than girls. But the state of where they were working wasn't great to begin with. But like Onodera like hyped them up and were like, "Hey, you don't have to work like this. If you got any complaints, obviously like fire them to me. Give me suggestions of how to like make it bright." But he worked out, and they were working in like better conditions anyways. He does reunite with Takano. Unfortunately, Takano's like the big sort of like boss, like CEO of like this shoujo manga company, and he's like, "Hey, I know you. Did you go to my high school? Did you go out with me? Have you still got the feelings of love?" And Onodera's like, "I don't remember you." And then Takano's like, "I remember you. I hands down remember you." And Onodera's just like in denial, being like, "No, I don't really know you." Then there are some scenes, right, where Takano, the guy, he kisses, but Onodera, like, constantly. There was like no consent, no barriers, just like straight up kisses him, and I feel a little bit icky about it. The office don't really notice the relationship that much, apart from this one guy, which we're gonna talk about later on, that I don't like. There are also two more couples, as well as Takano and Ritsu as well. There is also a movie, but it mainly focuses on a shoujo manga company and like what goes on, like how they produce like shoujo manga, alongside the relationships and friendships going on between different colleagues. The relationship between Takano and Ritsu is so sweet, but it's so funny at the same time. But a lot of it's just really funny to me. So we'll talk about the main sort of like guy cast first. So we've got Ritsu, Onodera, our main guy, Tsundere, some denial of him and Takano's relationship. He enjoys working at the shoujo manga company. Both him and Takano, but both Ritsu and Takano were high school sweethearts. The next one is Takano Masamune. His name was something different in high school, but I think he had it changed due to his parents divorcing him. He still loves Ritsu and hasn't let go of him. Guess who voices Takano? I'll give you a hint. And I'll give you another hint. This is my other hint of who he's voiced by. So that's knowledge. Then you've got Chiaki Yoshino. So Chiaki Yoshino, he's really sweet and cute. He writes under a female pen name called Chiharu. He's a mangaka for Emerald. Then you got Yoshiyuki Hattori, really chill, kind of reserved kind of guy who has a crush on Yoshino. Yanase has a crush on Chiaki, but I think like Chiaki ends up rejecting him and chooses Hattori, which is a good choice. He is the chief editor for Chiaki. There were like a little weird love sort of like triangle going on between those three. But in the end, Chiaki chose Hattori. they both have a deep relationship with each other and know each other since they're kids, like childhood friends in a way. Then you got Shota Kissa, who's always had bad affairs with guys. He's only dated them after one night stands. That was until Ko came along. He has a young baby face. Kissa himself, he's just in his 30s trying to survive. And then Ko comes along. So Yukinago is like the local bookseller kind of guy. I really like his design. He has piercings, he's a university student. But during his part-time work, he's selling shoujo manga for Marine Mo books. Alright, time for me to address the elephant in the room. I hate this character. I just don't like what he does to Ritsu and Takano. It's just a bit controlling and a bit unfair to like both those characters. Like, I don't like this character. His name is Takafumi Yokozawa. Like, him and Takano did date in college, but I just don't like the concept of those two as a couple. And that's just my opinion on it. I think the drawing is knowing that this guy was a bit of a jerk. And he's one of the main heads of the company. And I think with Yokozawa, kind of reminded me of my old exes. I know it sounds crazy, but it just straight up reminded me of, yeah. You know when you have like that one old ex and that was a bit controlling and it just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But we do get some character development of Yokozawa actually. And he does get a bit jealous of Takano's and Ritsu's relationship. But he does get development in the movie. I would look at the movie and like talk about it, but I haven't seen the movie yet because unfortunately I don't really like Yokozawa's character in the series. But there's a part of me that's like, I do want to see his development a bit more. So there's that. There's Ken Kirishima, who does end up being Yokozawa's boyfriend. He's more relaxed and he just kind of balances out Yokozawa's personality and just kind of deals with his bullshit. But he's known to be like more aggressive at times, but mostly he's chill. But I'm kind of glad that this boss man ended up settling for a more sort of chill kind of guy and like developed a bit more. I don't think he's as jealous of Takano and stuff like that after the movie. At least I don't think so. Then we'll talk about the female characters in the series. Anne Konohita. She was an ex-fiancé to Ritsu. This was an arranged marriage through families. Another doesn't really view her as her fiancé at all. They've been good friends since like childhood. He just didn't want to like get married to her, if that makes sense. Then you've got Shinatsu Yoshino. She is the younger sister of Chiaki. She's quite close with her brother and his boyfriend. I admire their bond overall. She's like a really good, like, supportive character in that way. And then there's Seiki. She's a manga editor who used to work with Ritsu, but she kind of like ended up moving companies because she wasn't tracked correctly, if that makes sense. She was just finding it really tough, and she was just saying how unfair like the work was. She just ended up like moving. She was a good editor for a little bit, but she was like, I don't like the working conditions, so she ended up moving companies. And then you've got Erika Ichinose. She's the main mangaka for Emerald, but she's like very high up, like up there. Like in charge of the manga and the producing stuff, and they all have like really big meetings with her. Like, they go like outside, they go out drinking, and Onodera sometimes gets jealous of Takano like hanging out with women, and Takano's like, no, this is my boss. This is my boss. It's not a relationship thing. It is my boss. If you're mad about it, we'll discuss it somewhere else. Then you got Kotako Takano. Obviously, Takano's mum. She's a lawyer. Whilst his parents were going through a rough patch and struggling with their marriage and going through a divorce, she wanted to help her son out with finding him a job and getting support through college as much as she can. She was the only one that cared about him, whereas the dad were a bit absent in the relationship, if you get what I mean. And he was just having a really tough time with it. And that's really basically the mainish sort of characters. There is more characters within the series, including like the manga and stuff like that. But it would take me a long time to like introduce the characters here and there from the manga, because it's long. Here's some of my favourite moments from the anime series of Sekai ichi Hatsukoi. So I've got them down on like a list as well. So we've got Takano's birthday. I loved this episode a lot. It was very cute. It talks about how they like celebrate Christmas together, but it's also Takano's birthday as well. So that's like just like a nice reminder as well. The parties to celebrate the release of the first ever title of like their shoujo manga. I like the vibes of the party. Takano and Ritsu's origin story. This is about their love story from the very beginning, which is really sweet. When Hattori confesses his love to Chiaki, this is sweet. The introduction to Ko and Kisa's first date, and the finale of Sekai ichi Hatsukoi. I mean, this is more like the manga in a way, but like at the end of the manga, Takano and Ritsu do end up finally getting married, which is really good. So again, with the manga, it's a little bit graphic-y here and there. It's more graphic. In some parts, but some of it's pretty okay. Would recommend it for older readers. Takano and Ritsu do end up getting married at the end of it as like a last hurrah. I do want to talk about the movie of Sekai ichi Hatsukoi as well. So that's the movie talks about Yokozawa's sort of like character development in a way, and it also introduces like his relationship with Zen. So that's something interesting, but I will end up reviewing the movie in a completely different video, if that makes sense, because it will take me time to like get used to it. And it also covers like the other relationships in between. And I also have plans to do a Genjo Romantica video as well. I will also be covering that in a different video as well. Here's my afterthoughts and opinions of rewatching this series as a whole. A lot of this was nostalgic. Would I recommend it for first time BL readers? I would possibly wait until you're older. Big yaoi hands and nostalgia aside and bunnies, there was just like one guy that did kind of ruin the experience for me, but he does end up getting his own like character development in the movie and in the manga itself, so it does kind of better himself in a way. But taking into consideration, there's a bit of dated content here and there, so be warned. If you are a younger reader, I'd possibly wait until you're a little bit older to understand like the concepts and the writing of it. To understand context. I was young and had a curious mind at the time, and me discovering the series was a little bit silly of me to discover it. I would rate the series overall a 7 out of 10 for nostalgia purposes, but I ended up rewatching it and liking it more now that I've matured a bit and like my brain's developed more and like I understand like it more. Whereas when I first discovered it in my younger years, I wasn't fully baked yet. If you get what I mean. But if you have a yaoi suggestion, my inbox is open. I'm thinking of lightly doing like more yaoi suggestions in the future, just like reviewing them, because I've really enjoyed reviewing the series overall, and I know Junjo Romantica is highly requested on this series as well. I also want to look at some of that Hikari died, Cherry Magic. That's one of the new ones. Sasuke and Miyano. Obviously, I will look at that one, and I might look at Tadaima Okari as well, and just another few BL series that I will end up eventually watching on here. And I will also put the link in for my Pride video special for last year. So that was just like the Pride suggestions. This one was about Sekaiichi Hatsukoi. But yeah, Shoujo Sunday is back fully. We're going to be looking at My Love Story, because this was highly requested. And I'm looking forward to reviewing that. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one. Just a quick little thing. If you want to check out the manga, I would recommend you being a little bit older for this series, because there is a lot of graphic scenes for this, and I just want to like give you guys a little bit of a warning. I mean, it's still the same-ish sort of story within, but I thought I'd discuss the anime first than the manga, because the manga is slightly more graphic, and a lot of the stuff within the manga might get me a little bit demonetized, but you get what I mean.